to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds and sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I am really glad you're here. You knew I was going to do that, didn't you? Well, welcome to live stream number 132, September 18th, 2023. Here we are, and I have no way to test my sound. I only have one computer set up here. Anyway, let me know if you don't hear me. I mean, you wouldn't hear me say that, but you'll let me know. Anyway, there's a bunch of people here already tonight. You guys came in early, so I saw some of the comments popping up. Chev Head Ed saying, Monday already. You're right. You know, I lose track of the days for sure. There's Kent from Hope Construction. I hope you are doing well, my friend. And our friend Chris and Ross and Mark from Anisto Key. Lots of conversations happening. There's our friend David from RCAF Polar Express. So thank you all for being here. And I'm in a different setting here. I'm on the first floor of the farmhouse here tonight. Just set up the old MacBook and thought we'll just go live like this tonight. So that's what we're doing. If you're new to the live stream, it's your first time here, please say hi in the live chat. Let us know that it's your first live stream here. And let us know how you found the channel. Was it YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, any of those places? And know that, you know, we'll be talking about tractors and gardening and DIY, life in the country, that kind of stuff. That's what we talk about. And we're here from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time every Monday. So welcome if it's your first time. And about tonight's show, well, I got nothing really big planned tonight. Thought we would just chat a little bit about the goings on here at the channel and in your world, and later on we'll do a sticker giveaway. I'm going to do the special edition sticker, so I've got that one here to give away. We'll do that, and keep in mind if you have a question, post it in the live chat with the word question followed by your question. That's how we do it. Bathrooms are to the left, and no kidding. Enough of the housekeeping rules. First question from David at RCAF Polar Express. What is written on your gray door? Anne has gone through the house now because we're gonna do some work in here. We're gonna paint the walls. They're pink, which was nice, you know, at the time, but we're gonna brighten them up a little bit. And so she has ideas, and she went around with chalk because chalk wipes off easily. So she's been writing on the walls with chalk, different ideas that she has. So that door says new, old door, and that's because that door is it's just a hollow core door. So I'd like to find a solid door that's a little more historic and put that in place there. So a new old door is what she's saying there. And then over there it says, you know, paint the wall, expose the chimney, all this kind of stuff. So we'll be doing that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking I'm going to show some of that on the channel. I know we talked about this before, like should I bring this kind of content into the channel? I don't want to kill the channel because I know that I have a certain audience who likes the outdoor content, and I don't know if bringing indoor content in is going to work or not. So we talked about starting a second channel specific to our farmhouse adventure here. A lot of people said just keep the same channel, add the content, we'll watch. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try doing an indoor project and see if folks like that. But it's tough, you know. The YouTube algorithm is difficult because it searches for the right audience, and again, it looks at who your audience is, and I don't know. Ross, I wasn't scared in the woods. I was just trying to look like I was lost. That was my lost look, but I guess it made me look scared. Hachi and I were though, when I scheduled this live stream, I scheduled it from the woods. I was back there about 6 o'clock or whenever this posted, and thought, oh, I've got to schedule a live stream. So I sat down in the woods back there, and I scheduled it from the woods. So that's what that was. So there's our friend Gord from GP Outdoors. Good to see you, Gord. I'm glad that you're here. And Gord, I really enjoyed that project, talking about different types of projects. Here I am saying, I don't know if the audience will like any of the work that we do in the farmhouse here. Gord and Guy did a great project where they replaced a concrete column holding up the corner of the cabin, I guess. And I really was, I don't want to say I was riveted, but I watched that video every second of it, Gord. I really was interested in it, and it was well done, and I enjoyed watching Guy do all the work. But he's really skilled. He's very methodical, and he's a good neighbor, a good friend of yours. But I enjoyed that video. It had nothing to do with tractor content. It was something totally different, and I enjoyed it. So I don't know how your views are, Gord, but I hope they're good, and maybe that'll be an inspiration for me to do some other type of content here as well. So looking forward to your feedback. There's Phil. Good to see you, Phil. Twin Brook Acres is here. Richard Klump. Yep. We know that's not your real name, but that's all right. There's Bob and Chad from Purple Collar Life. So yeah, Chad saying the current trend is to paint over wood trim. I've been torn about that because this wood trim, it's warm, because I said to Ann, we could paint, all the trim could be painted white, you could brighten up the house because it's, the first floor here is kind of dark. But I agree. I like the wood trim, and the floor is old wooden floor. It's stained, so I like that look too. So, yeah, it's just, there's a certain warmth to wood. Sometimes you can have too much wood, but it's all personal preference for sure. So, and there's Gord saying it was all Guy. So, well, if you did the labor, that's good. If you were hauling the bags of concrete and dumping them into that mixer, that was hard. But yeah, he's a good guy. Guy's a good guy. So, and if any of you are saying, what are we talking about? Go over to GP Outdoors and check out the video. Then you'll know. Chris, you're so clever. G squared, which is Gord and Guy over at GP Outdoors. Is that G squared, or I guess G is G to the second power the same as G squared? Remember, I'm not good at math, and I don't remember that part. Anyway, I like that. Daryl has a question. What did you do with the hornet nest on your building? It's still there. My sister told me that hornet nests can be very valuable. The people collect them. They use them as decorations. This one, I don't know that I could remove it and save it because it's built into the eave or the soffit, and so it's in a corner. So if it was out on a tree and if it was attached to a limb and just hanging, you could cut it and save it. But this one, it's built right into that corner. So I don't know, but it's still out there. If you have any ideas, let me know. Let me know. So, okay. Fun fact from Gord. Both Gord and Guy, their initials are GP. That's pretty fun. So it's GP squared, right? 2 GPs. Here's a fun fact too. I read this a long time ago. I think it's true, but the Jeep, the Jeep Wrangler that everybody loves so much. Well, the original Jeep was a military vehicle, as you recall, or as you would know, seeing old Army Jeeps. I read one time that the Jeep was just considered a general purpose vehicle in the Army, and they shortened the name to GP for general purpose, and then they shortened the name again from GP to Jeep, and that's how the name Jeep originated, because it actually stands for GP. So general purpose GP Jeep. I don't know if that's true. I'm pretty sure it makes a lot of sense, but I did read that somewhere a long time ago. So GP, guess we could start calling you Jeep. Let me know if that's true, if you've heard that too. Makes sense though. General purpose vehicle in the Army, GP, Jeep. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. So, anyway, I thought we got a good group here tonight. A lot of people watching, and I thought this would be a good night to kind of open things up. Not any specific topics or anything, but we like to once in a while open it up. If anybody wants to jump on and behave yourself, then we do that. So, why don't we do that? And if you're just a regular old viewer and you have a question, you can jump on and ask the question. If you're a content creator and you want to jump on and talk about some stuff, you can do that too. So I'm gonna share a link, and you can jump on and we'll chat. How about that? I've seen other people do that, and I like how that works out. So there you go. If you look at the live chat, there is a link in there, and if you click on that, it's going to take you to the backstage of StreamYard, and you'll need a working camera and microphone. And I'll see you backstage, and we'll let a few people on if we can. So, but meanwhile, Gord has a question. I've been super busy. I have been super busy lately. You've noticed I put a lot of content. Next few projects I prioritized on the homestead. Well, I do have the one project I'm really working on is getting into that woods. You saw on the video where I started to cut some trails on there, back there, but I want to get a straight trail from behind the barn back to the old access road, because that's the clearest shot. And I'm kind of almost there. There's probably, I don't know, 50, 60 feet to clear out between the edge of the barn, maybe a little more than that. And it's relatively small growth because it had been kept trimmed or cut for years, until recently, until maybe 10 years ago. So they're all relatively small trees, some maybe 3-4 inches. And I want to cut those and get back to that access road, make a straight shot through. Then I can start getting the tractor back there and hopefully dragging out some wood to cut up some firewood, just clear more paths and trails. So that's really what I want to do as a priority. But then, of course, we're living here, so we have to do some things to work on that as well. Not always content related. Good question from John too about accessing the bottom of the ravine with the tractor. I'm going to say yes, because the way the property is, if you go in from the south side of the property, it's more of a gradual taper back. But there's a wet area, so I got to avoid that. But you can kind of gradually taper back, and that'll bring you around. And as you come around, then you'll have the ravine up high. So I won't be able to go straight up there, but I think I can work my way around and into that area. What you're talking about is probably by the creek, because I want to clear an area by the creek so we can walk along the creek bed. So, but anyway, John, when you're free from Yukon Acres, come out to the East Coast and we'll do some work, right? Richard Klump, question about the Woodland Mills wood chipper. If I had to do it all over again, would I buy the Woodland Mills wood chipper again? You probably saw in my last video, I complained a little bit about the chipper, and complaint might not have been the best term to use, but I think there's an improvement that could be made with that wood chipper. And again, it may be all chippers, I don't know, but the intake wheel of that wood chipper is probably like a 6-inch drum, and it has grooves on it which grab onto the log and pull it in. It's supposed to be a 6x8 opening, so technically, if you had a big enough machine tractor, you could draw in a 6-inch branch. Mine can't handle that at all. 3 inches is the most it can handle, really. But even at 3 inches, that wheel can't grab it. So I can't even imagine it would grab a 6-inch limb. People have suggested cutting it like on a taper down to the end, which works. I've done that before. But anyway, I think there could be an improvement made. Having said that, did you hear that pop? I'll tell you what that is in a second. Having said that, I love that wood chipper. Yes, I would buy it again without hesitation. I'd like to try a different one. You know, I don't really have experience with other chippers. I know Tim from Tractor Time with Tim just got was it a Woodmax, um, a chipper that looks interesting with a hydrostatic drive intake wheel. But otherwise, I love that Woodland Mills chipper. I have no regrets buying that whatsoever. Highly recommend it. I think it's a decent price for what you get, and yeah, I'm happy with it. So no, so yes, I would buy that again for sure. I mean, East Key, everybody has the same. It's a common issue that people have, and again, I had an idea that that if it had instead of just the line to grab the wood, if it was like teeth, it might be better. So, good question from Gord here. Since I've had the B2601 for several years now, it has been about three years plus. You think now that you have much more land and more demanding tasks that a bigger tractor may be in your future, cab or no cab? Well, Gord, let me tell you, Gord, um, if money were no issue, then yes, I would say a bigger tractor would be in my future. Cab, I don't think I need one, but I would like one. I would like, especially this summer was so brutal. I got the Artilian canopy fan, which it makes an incredible amount of difference. Really nice piece of equipment to add to your canopy if you have the Artilian canopy. Um, Cab with air conditioning, I can't even imagine how nice that would be. And then, of course, cab with heat would be great too. Although I don't do a lot of work in the winter, at least I haven't in the past because the other property was smaller and you know, it was kind of muddy in the wintertime. This property is pretty high, pretty dry, and no reason I couldn't do a lot of work in the wintertime here. So that'd be nice. But yeah, I definitely would like a bigger tractor. I'd like a backhoe. I've wanted a backhoe for a long time. So I'd like a bigger tractor with a backhoe. In fact, I would choose a backhoe over a cab for my needs here. Like if I had to choose between the two, I'd go for the backhoe. The cab would be nice, but the backhoe would be much more usable. So, David saying, "Do not get assimilated to the tractor cab collective." David is against cabs. David, I think if you had a cab, especially the snow blowing that you do, David, my goodness, I think you need a cab. So, and Ross is saying, get a second tractor, not a replacement. If tractors were cheap, I would not want to do that too. So thank you for that, Ross. In fact, Ross, why don't you tell us in person what your thoughts are, since I see you back there in the green room backstage. Let's bring on our friend Ross and see what's happening with him. Hey, Ross.
Hey, Ed. How are you?
Great. How about yourself?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
That's good to see you. Good to have you here.
Yes.
So you think buy a second tractor, not just keep the first one and add one to it?
Yeah, why not?
Right.
It'll be paid for soon anyway, right? So just start a new one.
Right? What's another payment, right?
Yeah.
Well, that would be nice. How about you? Now you have more land than I used to have, and yet you have a BX. You could probably go with something bigger where you are. Especially, although now that you're digging ditches with big boulders in them.
Oh my gosh. So that is my the reason why I say Mini X. Get a Mini X because the BX, the backhoe on the BX is a phenomenal piece of equipment, but it is quite limited in its strength and its ability. But that's only second to the fact that you can't move the spoilage further than like a foot away from your trench. You can't move it all the way around. So if you dig a trench, like a 4-foot deep trench, that spoilage is basically sitting right at the edge of the trench, and you really can't move it out. So most of the time, if you see my videos, I'll dig up something, but then I'll have to push the spoilage further away and keep pushing it further away. So it's very time consuming to dig deep trenches like that. It's a glorified shovel, and for that it was phenomenal, and it allowed me to do my trenching. But yeah, it took a lot longer than it would have with a Mini X. I think I could have probably got that done within 2 days or a weekend, but it took me
A year.
9 months, but on and off. But yeah,
Well, it's definitely better than a shovel. That's for
it
sure.
is. Yes.
So are you saying that is it because the swing isn't enough?
Yep.
Because it's so small?
Yep. That's right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you did a great job, though. That was a fun project to watch.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad it's done. So.
I bet you are. And it must be so nice to have water down at the barn.
Yeah. It'll be nicer in the winter because that's the real reason. Like I've been running a garden hose for 5 years just across the grass, but then you hit it with the zero turn and then you have to replace it. And I really want it for the winter time where I can just go down there and turn the water on instead of carrying buckets because I have to carry like 4-liter buckets of water twice a day down for the pigs and the chickens and stuff. So
4 liters. How much is that? Is that like 5 gallons?
let's say 10 gallons or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is in black and white, but it's
This
it's a
language
lot.
you speak. I don't get it. Speaking of liters, I have a question about that. Remind me of that as soon as I bring our friend Chris on here, because he can chime in here. Hello, Chris.
I don't know anything about the metric system. I'm the wrong
Well,
source.
you never cease to amaze me because you're so well read and such a smart guy. This is
I
a
know.
conversation I had with a friend of mine last night. Quick story. We bought an electric push mower. Ann wanted a push mower, and she wanted an electric one because we don't have a whole lot to push mow.
That's 0 liters.
There you go. So we bought this, and I bought the Ryobi because we already have the Ryobi system. We've got the Ryobi pole saw, the weed whacker, and I like them. I know I had my rant about the Ryobi with the Allen key, but still, it's a decent little tool. And we're not going to use this push mower very much because we don't have much to mow. It's just right around the house where you can't get the mower or the tractor in there. There's a steep hill, so I got this Ryobi push mower that uses the same batteries as everything else. And on the box, it says that it has the power of like 170 cc gas mower. And I was having this conversation with my friend last night. I said, that means nothing to me. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, in the world I grew up in, a push mower had a 3 horsepower motor or a 5 horsepower motor. What's a 150 or 170 cc motor? That doesn't tell me anything as far as what the electric lawnmower is equivalent to.
I've noticed that as well.
Canadian.
I don't know either because like I used to buy snowblowers that had like a 7 horsepower engine or a outboard motor for my boat, which was a 7.5 horsepower, and then they switched everything to CC. So I can only think of CCs like as a syringe, like. So I don't know what. Like my
Okay, well,
motorcycle.
first of all, if you have a 7.5 horsepower on your motor, on a boat motor, you need to just throw that motor away and get a bigger motor.
I did that.
Yeah, I think there was some issue with the way that manufacturers measured and advertised horsepower. And so it was not the same. And I think there was probably like a class action lawsuit that said, no, that's deceptive. So they just went to CCs. So just displacement. How that converts to electricity, I have no idea.
And how does it convert to horsepower?
But that's the question because like my motorcycle is a 650 cc engine, but it's not even
I think they
650.
just went to displacement as opposed to a horsepower claim, although you'd think there still needs to be horsepower.
Yeah.
Well,
Chevhead Ed says it's 11 horsepower,
what is 170
cc.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Equivalency, I guess, in electricity. But
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about motorcycles is we never think of those in terms of horsepower because we're used to it. Like I know that a 250 is like a small bike, but if you have a 700 cc, that's a good sized bike. Or my mule is 700 cc, so I think about that as like, oh, compare that to an ATV. So I don't even think about horsepower with those types of vehicles. But when it comes to small engines, on a lawnmower, I need to know horsepower. Is it 3 horsepower, 5 horsepower? When I was a kid, I had that go-kart that I shared before. I put a 10 horsepower Tecumseh engine on that thing, and that was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to jump on and say kudos, Ross. I enjoyed that whole series, and that was just a lesson in perseverance. Every time you were digging, and then, oh, he's dug up something else he was not supposed to dig up, and it just went
I couldn't
on
believe
and
in the
on
last
and on.
in the last 10 feet you hit that drainage line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would sit there for months and just like stare out at the back window at these mounds of dirt, and everyone would be like, "Hey, when are you gonna work on the trench?" And I'd be like, "Don't bug me about the trench." And then I would just go out and do like 5 feet, and then I would hit a rock, and then I would be like stressed and frustrated, and I'm so happy it's done.
I
And
had
even
one of
though-
those projects recently too, that video coming, that it's just been staring at me for about 2 years, and I'm like, I just have to do something about this. Although I shot too much footage, and now I'm wading through it. It's
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah, I agree. Lots of footage.
I'm sorry, back to the CC conversation. Bob Pers is saying divide CC by 15. So 150 CC divided by 15 is 10. So 10. Oh, I didn't need a calculator for that one, I guess. But, well, I did. But so that's interesting.
would too.
So I saw 170 CC would be like a 17 horsepower motor. Huh, interesting. Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting I don't have to use the calculator for that stuff. Anyway, there's one answer. And then we're talking about horsepower versus watts. This is getting too confusing.
Yeah.
This is like lumens versus watts. Like,
Hey guys,
come on.
it's Monday. It's Monday. Calm down.
But with the LED bulbs, it makes sense to talk about lumens. Like,
Yes.
it's dumb to talk about brightness in terms of watts. That makes no sense at all. But yet we calculate that in our mind, like equivalent to a 60-watt bulb. Well, 60 watts is not a measure of brightness. Even I know that,
Yeah.
right? Am I right?
You're
No,
right.
So, but I don't know what a lumen is. Like, we have to think about how many. Like, you have to make the conversion until finally you start to understand that, 30 lumens is equivalent to 60 watts. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm just saying we have to learn that.
I think that's Latin for lightning bug or something. I don't know.
A lightning bug.
Yeah.
So
So there's a
BT,
couple questions. Yeah.
that the question?
4 feet is my frost line, so I should be under 4 feet.
That's
And-
terrifying.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So I was okay for most of it. There was a couple of giant rocks that I couldn't move, so I went up over it, and I did add foam, hard foam board to the last 20 feet or so, just to make sure that it was protected, because I wasn't under that 4 feet, but I was close. So
I was thinking when you did that a neat thing to do, not that you can do this yourself, but I was picturing when you had that line buried in there, if you could have got somebody to do spray foam insulation and like encapsulate that.
That's funny you say that, Ed,
Yeah.
because I watched that thing and I looked at that corrugated pipe you had, and I'm thinking, cut the pipe, put it around the other pipe, and just fill it up with that, this canned
the
spray
expensive
foam.
Uh-huh.
yeah. Yeah.
Because
I
we
thought
all know
that.
better than you, Ross. Yeah.
Well, except for up here, that spray foam stuff is really expensive.
Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've got about 2 dozen cans in the barn that I got on sale for like $1 a can.
Yeah.
I kept going back to Lowe's, like, is this price real? It was like $1.05 per can or something. Like, I'm just gonna keep buying it.
Yeah. Philip mentioned something about a 6-inch trenching bucket. I did buy one for that project, but my soil composition made it so every time I would dig, it would be compacted in this little 6-inch bucket. And so I really wanted to use just a small little narrow bucket to dig the 4 feet down, but it was just couldn't excavate the earth out of the bucket each time I would dig, so it became impossible. I just had to use the 12-inch bucket, and
The
that
bucket was
ejected.
just packed with dirt and you couldn't clear it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
too
yeah,
wet
that was
or
early.
clay.
You had that on video, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. So that was a fail, but now I have a trenching bucket that can take up space somewhere.
Well, that makes sense because the small bucket would be handy, but yet the bigger bucket, you have more volume, so there's more weight to clear it. So the small one
That's right.
would get jammed up. Interesting.
Yeah. And I
And
think
look
that
at
the
David saying
edges.
his frost line is 5 feet.
Yeah.
Competition.
Yeah, I think here it's like 18 inches or something like that.
What?
Yeah, I was
Wow.
thinking 36 here, like that you have to bury foundations and whatnot. But I think you're right, Chris. I think 18 is what you need to bury. I don't know if it's electrical lines. I don't know what the rules are, but
Yeah, that's us for as well. For electrical lines and stuff, it has to be 18 inches
Yeah,
or
I
more.
could be wrong. I've heard that 18 figure, but yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Ross, you can also just leave the water running all winter, right? That'll keep it from freezing.
Yes, I thought of that too. Yeah.
Leave it running. You
Yeah.
could have a loop, bringing it back into the house, and then it would warm it up a little bit, and just have a loop of water going there.
Yeah, that's right.
Ross, maybe you've said this before and I've forgotten, but what do you have a purpose for the pigs, or are they just residents of the land?
They're just residents of the land. They're rescue animals, actually. So my wife rescues animals, and we have some rescue pigs that have like cleft palates and runts that were not going to make it. So we've rescued them, and they are just taking up space on our property, and then we get to enjoy them and take care of them.
How many do you have?
5.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility, and that's really commendable that she does that, or that you all do that. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's not just one person. So,
Yeah.
do you find them to be a challenge? Because I had a pig one time, and he rooted under the fence, and he grew to be really big. But they're sweet animals, but they can be challenging. Have you had that?
Yes, they're very challenging.
Okay.
They're very smart, and they are destructive and dirty. So that kind of goes against everything you hear about a pig being clean and that kind of stuff. Like, I have a barn for them, and it's insulated, and it's about 10 by 12, and there's only 3 pigs in there because the 2 other pigs are somewhere else. And in the wintertime, they don't want to go outside because it's cold, so they would just start using the corner as their bathroom, but then it would just be all messy in there. So I wanted them to go outside, so I started making their space smaller so they would only have room to sleep in there, and then they would have to go outside. Well, then they just try and crap right on the front step of the barn instead of going further away. So it's just lazy.
They don't call them pigs for nothing.
No, exactly. So, but
Well,
I enjoy them. They're fun.
John says they bury water mains 8 feet in Minnesota. But I wonder what you have to, like if you're doing a home project. I would think municipal lines probably would be that deep.
Yeah. David, I would like to have some bacon as well, but I can't eat those ones.
No, can't do that. The pig I had was also a rescue. My neighbor had rescued it, and then they gave it to me, and it was only half grown when they gave it to me. I think his name was Herschel. Anyway, I had him for a while, and he got too big, and then I gave him to another neighbor who had a farm, and he kept him until he lived his life out. But he was ginormous.
How long do pigs live if they're not harvested?
Well, these ones are 5 years old, so I don't know how old.
I don't know either, but I bet you at least twice that.
Yeah, probably.
So, any of them potbelly pigs? Because that was
Yep. That's
Yeah.
a bear, yeah.
which people think they're cute little pigs, but they get big too.
And that's something that not many people know about is when you see them advertised as these little mini pigs, that they're just babies, and they can actually have babies when they're like a year old. So they're having babies when they're small, but these are like 60, 70 pounds now, and they're potbelly pigs. They're advertised as mini pigs, but they're not. They're full-grown adult pigs.
Yeah, they're just baby pigs. So Kent says 8 to 15 years. So enjoy those pigs, Ross.
Thank you.
If they're like dogs, the smaller ones are going to live longer, right?
Yep. And we have 5 dogs too, and
Do you really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really a lot. That's a
This
lot.
is a lot. Yes.
Hey, let's see what our friend Mark at Manisto Key is up to. I see him back here in the backstage. Let's bring Mark on. Hey, Mark.
Evening, folks.
Hello, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
How's everybody doing?
Good,
Good.
thank you.
Great. How's your world?
It was cool here this morning. It was -2 degrees Celsius, so it's getting cool for sure.
That's probably cold. I don't know.
Well, it's less than it's 30, below 34 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's cold. That is.
So yeah, it's that time of the year. So we're getting ready for that 4-letter swear word. So
Yeah.
getting things picked up so we don't end up in the snowblower.
How's your equipment that you're working on and working with? Everything?
Well, yesterday I actually had a trifecta of woodland mills. I had the sawmill going, I had the chipper going, and something that's going to be showing up here shortly, the stump grinder. I picked that up from
nice.
a buddy. So, yeah, it was a busy day yesterday, and I didn't get a whole bunch of it on video, which isn't good, but I've got more stuff and video in the background that I got more time to produce. So,
Sometimes you have to get the work done and video just gets in the way. We all
well,
understand.
that's about it. Yeah. So, otherwise, everybody here's doing well and getting ready and enjoying what we have here at the Key. So,
So the stump
everybody else as
grinder
well?
is the Woodland Mills. What is it? The something 24.
I'm not even sure. Something like that. I think you're right. It's a 24-inch diameter wheel, and direct drive off the PTO, and
And you used it already, or you're going to use it?
No, I have used it. I've used it actually quite a bit. The last video that I did, no, I haven't put that one out yet. I just about spoiled it. But anyways, prepped some ground that had some stumps in it, and it works. I'm quite surprised at how well it works. It's put her down, and if the stump's anything more than a year old, it just chews it up and turns it into a dirty mulch because it's in with the dirt a lot of time too. So
That's something I've never heard anybody reference before when they're talking about stump grinders is the age of the stump. Does that make a significant difference?
my experience so far, Chris, yeah, exactly. It like I tried taking down. Well, I have taken down a one that I cut a couple weeks ago, and it did it. But it was a much more aggressive feeling.
A little more
much more
violent?
violent. Yeah, absolutely. It's bucking and kicking more than it is with other ones that have been dead for a couple of years. So
I'd love to have one of those.
It's
Well,
on
I
my
was
wish
too.
list. Yeah, it's all on our wish list.
Yeah. Don't use a zero-turn mower.
No.
What do you mean? Don't use a zero turn?
I only use that for rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Don't use a zero-turn mower as a stump grinder.
As a stump grinder?
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. No.
No, it's not a good idea.
I didn't know you could bend a blade like that. Honestly, I didn't know that was possible.
Spoiler alert, next week's video is me changing the blade, the spindle, and welding the brackets on the deck because it all just shattered when I hit a stump. So
Amazing.
Not good.
yep.
Mark, there's a question from Gord here about that stump grinder. Have you hit any rocks?
I've taken a couple small ones, and it seems to just dig them out. But there was Justin, who I reference once in a while on my videos. There, he had it before me, and he had to replace all the outer rim teeth on it because he found one that was more like bedrock than just a rock. So carbide still doesn't like to cut rock very well. So, but otherwise, anything this size or smaller. And hard to tell on the screen here. I'm holding my hands about 8 inches apart. It kind of just grades it out of the way and just kind of bounces off the blade.
I can imagine you could have some boulders though with a tree growing right next to it and not realizing. We don't have that problem here, but
that'd be an issue, I would think, if it was supported by the tree.
Yeah, then you need a diamond bit stump grinder, right?
Well, I think that or that mini X that Ross was talking about earlier would be just fine.
Yeah.
We can divert here for just a second to the YouTube world, since we're all content creators here. But BT Handy had a question about 3 items that you need to start a channel. Who wants to jump in with a suggestion for BT Handy?
You need an idea, and you need a phone, and you need the time to edit a little bit and upload, and everything else after that is just gravy.
Yep, I agree.
Agreed. Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
answer. Right? The idea. That's great. You need the idea first. But I was thinking camera and editing, which everybody has a camera now. If they have a smartphone. A lot of people start their channels just from their smartphone.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I did too.
And
My
I would also say that once you get past that thing, having a decent audio makes a huge difference. You know, investing in a little remote mic so people can hear what you're saying. That's also, I don't think people give that enough credit. But not that I'm an expert. I have lots of audio issues myself, but it makes a difference, I think.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, audio is crucial to good video. It's arguably more important than video. But as far as starting a channel, you can work around that. You don't need that initially, but it is something. And when you get serious about it, you do have to really focus on your audio. But if you're just starting out with a channel, just be aware of that limitation. If you have a camera or a phone, make sure any of your audio or talking parts are right in front of the camera. You can't be 6 feet away from it or more. It's not going to work. So just make sure you realize that you've got to be right up on that camera if you want to record the audio with that. But you can work around it. But you're right, Chris. It's crucial to have good audio.
Yeah, the audio issue, that was one of my, my earlier videos. Like, I watch them now, I just cringe. It's just like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Like, I've considered redoing the videos because it's just like, oh man, this is horrible. But in regards to accessories, the first accessory I'd say is like, if you got your little iPhone, and find yourself a tripod, just a cheapie, and that way it's not, because I can remember many times sitting there and propping it against a rock or whatever else, just to, your arm gets sore after a while too doing this thing. So
for sure. And that, but the audio, if it is bad audio, people will click off of that video almost immediately.
Chef Ed has a good question about a catchy name for a channel. What my experience was is when I was looking for a name, I tried to be unique so that it stands out to my community. But I also tried to make sure that I also got the name on just about every social media platform, so it's the same. So you try to want to own your niche, and so that was really helpful for me to try to get all the Ross on the lands. And also from my perspective, I do like having my name in it so that it's easy for people to talk to me without having to try to remember my name. They could just see my channel and see that I'm Ross, even if it might not be my real name.
What?
It's
his stage name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of questions about channel name, and I've looked at that myself because I have questioned whether I made the right choice with my channel, and we've talked about, should I change it, should I start another channel? But I mean, the fact is, the experts say it doesn't matter that much, that you could name a channel almost anything, and it's about the content and people will find it. I don't know what Ross is smirking at back there, but
Gord just said classic Ross.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's I would say it's not important, but what it is important for is if you're going to do merch, a catchy name is kind of handy for that. If your channel is just a string of numbers and letters, people might remember that, but it's not going to be catchy. So yeah, if you're going to do merch, I guess a catchy name would be important for that. But
ours was just a case of we named the property, and then we thought, well, let's do a YouTube channel, and it's just like, well, why are we going to call it anything else?
Right.
I would think that a catchy name or a good logo, you can kind of hook into that, and it's an advantage. But at the end of the day, I think you're right. I think that the name is much less important than getting your content right and your hashtags or whatever you need, your keywords for the algorithm to find you.
Yeah, yeah, and it's important to be probably a little more. Well, this is kind of weird. It's you either have to be, I think, very generic or very specific.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Yeah,
one or the other.
and my like our channel, like Manisto Key, is we haven't really, there's the mill, there's and we're doing renovations and everything else, and I think I think I've hurt myself, or we've hurt ourselves in having such a wide variety of content instead of concentrating on stuff. So something maybe I need to talk to the gurus like Ed here and JP who have got it down right and have a formula that I think you guys follow, but I could be wrong.
I think we're always learning, honestly, but you just basically you learn what your audience likes, and that's what you produce, which is why I have those struggles with should I put any of this other type of content, because I know that that's not what people come here for. But anyway, what I was saying there, Chev Head Edge, is about the generic or specific. If you for instance, if you have a channel called Chev Head, people are going to expect to see, I guess, content about Chevys. So that might be a little too specific if you're not going to do content specific to Chevys. Would you three agree?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody back me up. David White, thank you for that super chat, super sticker.
Very nice.
Bob
very
Ross.
nice.
I would
you-
also say that
you have some happy
the more
relaxers.
popular a channel gets, the less important the name becomes. Because I think people like, well, you look at somebody like Tractor Time with Tim or the Morgans, and you, Ed. I think a lot of people, it becomes not just about the project, but people engage with the personality. And I think, Ed, you have a personality that people really connect with and engage with, and I think that's true for these some of these other big creators. And so, when I tune into your channel or one of their channels, it's not just because I want to know about the chainsaw that they're working on, but I just enjoy spending time with those people, and I think the bigger you get, that also becomes a thing.
And I also say that I really do notice a difference between like a new channel starting out. That the informative, instructional videos seem to do better than the story, seeing what I'm doing in my life. I don't think people really necessarily have a vested interest in what I'm doing on a daily basis until they've watched the content, they've talked with me, they've commented, versus someone who's just looking for the answer to some question and they watch your video and then they move on. So I think there's still that balance as well. If you're trying to show someone how to do something, it does better when you're a smaller channel. And then you can do more of the story, long form, getting to know people content for your hard fans, kind of say.
I think you're 100% right on track, and I know you and I have talked about that before offline. But my channel continues to grow. It's not a big channel. It's still a really small channel in this YouTube world, and still my best performing content the title starts out with how to. So that's searchable content. People, when I make a video about something very specific, how to do something, I know that people might be searching for that, and that does pretty well. When I do the vlog type stuff, where it's more about me, and we have a core group who likes to follow along, but I haven't grown that to the level you see the Morgans and whatnot that people have really gotten close to that family, and they're there for the people as much as the content, and I think that's what happens is you grow and people get to know you personally. So you're right, Chris, about having a personality that attracts people. But the good thing about YouTube, it's so enormous that I mean anybody can have an audience. Honestly, you really can, because everybody's personality is just a little bit different, and there's no magic formula to a certain personality, a certain style. Whatever you do, there are going to be people out there who relate to that and like that. So it's big enough for everybody. And I still encourage people to get out there and do it. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yeah. It's fun. Like, you know, some folks make it better than others. You know, we're still small. We're just over 350, which is fine. You know, I enjoy putting it out, and it's, you know, family follows it, and you know, there's a few folks that religiously, you know, comment back, which is always nice. And you know, this community here with MCG, and you know, what I kind of coined, or kind of like to call the clutterites, but you know, we're
Not alone.
yeah, a good group of folks. We get online, we do the chat, and it's a healthy group.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Mark, you're replying to comments. You're typing comments as well. That's impressive. You're responding to the question about the chat, the merch. It's very good. You're a multitasker.
I'm trying. I've got 2 screens going right now, so I'm okay so far. But
Very impressive. Yeah, the question was about merch. In my view, it's not worth it. I mean, I have it out there, but it's not. It's not. I like having it out there, but it's not really a big thing.
Yep, I agree. It's
Yeah.
good for my own stuff, but it's not a moneymaker. It's you know, I tried doing the drop shipping stuff with like print to order, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Just so that I don't have the hands-on buying like 1,000 shirts and getting all made. But to be honest with you, Teespring quality is not that great, and I've taken my channel merch off my channels so that people can't buy it, because I'm just not happy with the quality. So
right on.
Now, I did order a couple new shirts a couple weeks ago. This is not one of them, but it came quicker than the ones in the past. So I'm hoping that Teespring is getting their act together. So we'll see. But there aren't a whole lot of options to use for that. Gord making a point that you're creating a brand, which is true too, which
Yep.
goes to if you're going to sell merch and whatnot. Gord has a great brand there. I love the logo. I love the name. It's just
Yep.
it's perfect, Gord. It's great. So, but yeah, it's a great brand, and
That's another channel that has great content, but is also personality driven. I don't know anybody that doesn't like GP.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I love the little short. Gord's been doing a lot of shorts, and I saw the one where you went into the Kubota dealer, and they're even promoting GP Outdoors in the window, which is great. But it's nice to have that relationship, and
Yeah.
somebody like Gord is just, you can't help but like him. So
Yeah. And Gord mentioned something about Mark and Ross. It costs nothing. So that for the print on demand, it's just the quality of the product is not there. So if people are gonna buy my shirt and the logo rubs off in 2 or 3 washes, then I'm not happy with it, and it reflects on my brand. So I'm looking for another supplier for merch, I guess.
yeah, for sure. Let's say hello to our friend Brad and Deb over at Piney Grove, who is they're just crushing it with content, and the channel is growing tremendously, and they're putting out some great content on their homestead there that they're building their 20 acres in Florida, and so doing a great job. We'll have to have them on the channel sometime. We're getting to wrap up shortly here, so it's too late to bring anybody else on, but
Yeah. Brad, I hope your shoulder's doing well.
yes, that's right. That was quite a surgery he had on that.
Yeah.
He shared about his, was it shoulder, right?
Yeah.
So, speaking of merch, Jay's Acres, he has one of my coffee cups, and he enjoys that as well. So that's fun. Yeah, that is fun. So thanks for the reminder, Mark. Yeah, we are going to do the sticker giveaway. You 3 are free to participate or not. I'm not going to, just because you're here, but if you'd like to participate.
Yes, I will.
All
I have
right.
I have a bunch that are going in the mail as we speak, so I'll add these.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I've got smaller ones. But yes, absolutely.
Nice. Well, let
I
me.
got this one too. Never guess where I got that one.
Hey, look at that.
Nice.
Wow. That's very glossy.
I was just going to say, it's very shiny.
Yeah. I need to get one from the watershed yet, but that we'll have to get
Oh.
down there. I went and picked this one up personally, so I have to make a drive and come down and get that one. I
Hey,
guess.
well, come on down.
You
Well,
can enter tonight, Mark.
That's right.
right?
No, I'll have a conversation with Chris later on. So
There you go.
Okay. Excellent. Well, let's do this. I just have to share the screen here. If I can. Here we go. So in the live chat, we're going to ask folks
That's good, Chris. Yeah.
to type the word #merch. Since we're talking about that.
there you go.
I thought
You know
I
how
had.
I am. I just focus on the latest thing in my mind. Whatever the last thing somebody says, that's what sticks. So, and that's for stickers from what? All 4 of us, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Nice.
Which reminds me, Phil out there, I haven't forgotten you. You have something coming for me.
Well, you better get on it there, Chris.
I should.
I have a
Also,
bunch,
Gordon, I saw your message earlier too, and you're very welcome.
So, and we didn't really get to talk much about the overlook there, Chris. But I know you've been working on the place, right?
Oh, yeah, I do a little work. Like I said, well, video is coming. I just have a a lot of video trying to wade through it. But coming soon. Yeah, I got monetized and then just quit putting content out. That's how you do it, right?
Go figure. You reached the goal and then fizzled out, huh?
Yeah.
That's all right. That's great. All right. Well, let's see who wins here. I brought up a few chats to see. There's Tony G. How Tony G wrote it. #merch. 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 All right. Let's do it. I was hoping to get to 30 though.
Oh, people got to hit that like button for sure.
Hit the like
Yeah,
button.
for sure. Yeah.
Type in #merch. But it looks like we're not. All right. I'm going to draw it now with 28. Here we go. 29.
Oh.
Under the wire.
Yeah.
Let's see who it is. Crabtree.
Crabtree. Nice.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Crabtree. I feel like Crabtree won once before, but maybe not all 4 stickers.
Not likely.
So, well, Crabtree's going to contact me, and then I will forward the information to you 3 folks.
Yep.
So, Crabtree, send me an email at contactmcgtv@gmail.com, and I'll need your name and mailing address, and then I'll forward that to these 3 folks, and you'll get stickers in the mail in 4 separate envelopes.
Yes.
Right. So, well, that was fun. Thanks very much. Thank you 4 for being spontaneous, or you 3 for being spontaneous and jumping on here with me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
I hope everybody has a great week, and fall is coming, so a lot of good things are coming up. So Ross, get that snowplow on
Yep. Snowblower. Yep.
too, probably, right? And
Yep.
Love all the stuff you got going on there, Ed. Enjoying all that farm content.
Yes. Very good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
we appreciate it. It's been fun, and it's not slowing down. So there's a lot to do here for sure. So thank you. All right. Well, stay tuned. Thank you 3 again. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you have a great week. And we just all look forward to seeing you next time.
Next time.
Bye. Everyone.